Hey, everybody. My name is Matt J. Doyle. I'm here with TAP Interviews and Team Easyway with our outstanding, amazing guest, Mr. Johnny Keatth. Hey, Johnny, how you doing?
I'm doing awesome. How are you, Matt?
Doing great. So I wanted to start off by asking you, how was your Christmas and New Year's Eve?
It was pretty amazing. I have two boys. They're adult children, and one of them I live with. So my other son came over, and we had a little guy's Christmas for the first time ever. So that was kind of special.
Wow. What did you do?
We just basically I don't really see him that much. Even though the one son lives with me, he's always crisscrossing. So we're never in the same room more than 10 minutes. So just to be there in the same room for 2 hours with both my kids was pretty amazing for me because that never happens.
Yeah, that's great. Congratulations. That's good family time. And what did you get them? What did they get for Christmas?
I bought them noise canceling headphones because
Oh,
everywhere you live, there's neighbors. Like behind this wall here, there's 4 teenagers or 20-year-olds that play their guitars and play their stuff. And I might have knocked a hole in their door the first day I moved in here. But I got their phone numbers and we're all good buddies now. We all get along perfect. But
oh,
the
fantastic.
wall, in my defense, the door was a very, very thin. As soon as I went to knock, my fist went through it and I went, oh, crap.
Oh, my God.
It's okay. It scared them enough to keep it quiet over there.
Yeah, as long as you didn't punch it.
No, it appeared that way. But then I patched it and they painted it and everything's fine. We're on good terms. But apartment living is, one guy yells here, the guy downstairs plays the piano. So those noise canceling headphones, I bought some for myself, the Bose ones, and I bought my kids the Sony ones, and they love it. They love it.
That sounds awesome. So you guys had fun. So getting away from Christmas and the New Year's and moving into, to hear a little bit more about Johnny Keatth. Could you tell us a little bit more about yourself, Johnny, and what you do?
Right. Well, I moved out here 30 years ago to be an actor. And instead of waiting tables or driving Uber, I opened up a little small business because I'm a master plumber. And I opened up a little company. It's called Retrofitting. And I work for about 300 of the top real estate agents here in Los Angeles. And when they sell a house, I show up and I install something on the gas meter called an automatic seismic gas shutoff valve. And we do about 5 or 6 other things. 30 years, same people. I don't advertise over and over and over again. My phone is always ringing. So that's a good thing. But it was supposed to support my acting career, not support my 2 kids who moved from a previous marriage, not to support a wife. So it was kind of tough. I had to just make a living in it. You don't have a lot of time for acting. So now I have complete control of my life. I'm recently divorced. I'm not available for dining and dating just yet. I'm still not ready for that. But it's a new adventure for me. And I started this podcast. I started a podcast called Actors 2020 Podcast. It was going to be a podcast teaching people how to start their own business, but I realized nobody wants to work anymore. So I just started interviewing actors, and it's been 125 episodes later. I'm still going strong, and I'm in season 5 now. And I just absolutely love interviewing actors and hearing their stories. I just love it. It's a passion of mine, and I do it all for free.
Wow, that's amazing, Johnny. So I believe the audience wants to hear a little bit more about Actors 2020 podcast. Could you tell us a little bit more about that podcast?
Right. So it doesn't matter if you're 5 years old or 90 years old. I interview children. I interview teens. I interview anybody. You can be an acting coach, acting teacher. And I just love getting your story. And I interview you for about 30 minutes and I can condense it down to 15 minutes. So you get your 15 minutes of fame. And I'm really good I found out one of my special skills is I'm like the kid whisperer. Every time I interview a kid, they come out of their shell and I get them talking, and their mom always writes back and just say how thankful they are. Thank you for telling her story. Thank you for getting her in the mood to just talk. I don't know how you did it, but thank you. And not even just from that. I mean, I've had people get commercial agents. I've had people, get other types of agents. I mentor some of the people on the side, and they take my advice and they're actually doing what I'm actually telling them, and they're successful and they're getting into the acting programs. And when they write me back and they tell me I only did this because of you, I mean, it brings tears to my eyes. And that's why I keep doing it, because I was only going to do 100 episodes and just stop. And I kind of left the acting business in 2006 because everybody was kind of mean back then. I wrote, directed, produced my own films. And everywhere you go, it just seems like someone's lying to you, or it's just not the best quality of people. So I just took a step back. But then when I did my podcast, I interviewed these two guys over 50 and they were killing it. And I'm like, I'm over 50. I still have my SAG card. So I started getting back into it, started doing a lot of extra work, getting on the set, and everybody is super nice now. Everybody is so nice. And I put it out there. I just signed with the management company. I just feel really good at the position I'm in, because the people that I interview, most of them would not give me the time of day, but they're calling me to be on my show now. So I love that. And I'm learning from them. One of them was a monologue expert. I loved her so much. I hired her. And she tried to give me a discount. I said, no, I don't want any favors, full price. Another lady, she's teaching acting scenes, for your demo reel. I hired her. So I'm investing in my career. I'm excited to start co-starring and guest starring on television shows this year. That's the goal of 2020.
Okay, elaborate a little bit more on those goals.
Yeah, so because that's what I moved down here for, and finally I'm in total control of my life. So my ultimate goal being with the children, and doing the host, I really love hosting. I wish I could be a host of a children's game show or some type of show where I'm the host and the stars are the children, and we have those one-on-one conversations and I get them out of their shell. And I would also like to produce the show because, as as a producer, you produce this show. My podcast is a lot of work and takes a lot of producing, but compared to making a documentary, compared to making feature films, it's pretty simple.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you for sharing all that with us, Johnny. I wish you well with your goals of co-starring and guest starring on mainstream productions. I'm in that same situation where I'm auditioning and going for those as well.
That's good.
And as you all know, I have these two shows, The Artist Process and Tap Interviews. And you're on Tap Interviews right now, as you know, and hopefully in the near future, we'll be able to get you on The Artist Process as well.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. That'd be fun. More internet, another internet movie database credit does not hurt at all.
No, they help a lot. They're fantastic. I love getting IMDb credits.
Yeah, I'm just learning about the star meter and how to get your star meter down. You would think you want it up, but you actually want it down. You want to get around the 50,000, 75,000 range. If you're under 100,000, you're doing pretty good. And I fluctuate. I made it to 43,000 the other day, and then the next time you're at 100 and something. So I don't know how that works.
Yeah, who knows? Anyway, I wanted to just share with the audience a couple of websites. Since we've been talking about IMDb, I'll just show them your IMDb first.
Okay.
Okay. Just bear with me while I share the screen.
Not a problem.
Okay, there. Can you see that, your IMDb?
Oh, yeah. That's right. That's right.
There it is there. And as you were saying, that's down 166,821 this week. So that's good, right?
No, because I was at 44,000 and now I'm down to whatever. Next, every Monday you check it. Monday, I'll be back up there.
Yeah, I guess it's because it's so competitive. And I'll be adding a credit for this for you as well.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
So we can see you've been on Actors 2020 podcast, Lone Star Cowboy, Silent Screenplay 2, and Apollo 13.
Yeah, I stood in for Kevin Bacon on Apollo 13 until, because my hair was longer than this, they pulled me aside. They said, okay, if you're going to be doing some astronaut doubling, you need to cut your hair. And I said, well, I'm in another film right now, and this hair is established, and I'm not finished shooting it yet, so I'm going to have to walk. They go, you're walking? I go, I made an honest commitment to somebody. I can't screw them on their film if they're expecting me as one of the lead characters, and I can't show up with my head bald, so I can't do this. So I worked on it for like 4 days and then took off, finished the movie, and it was fine. Kevin Bacon doesn't control my life, I'm in control of my life.
Exactly. And by the way, I really like your new haircut.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to grow it long because when I go on the set and, do this extra work, I always get featured. And I think it's because of my hair. They're like, you're going to play a news reporter. I'm like, yeah, give me the news reporter. I was on Mr. Mayor with Ted Danson. That should be coming out pretty soon. And I totally got you start throwing some wild lines and you're thinking, please leave them. That way they'll have to pay me. But I know what they're going to do. They're going to cut my voice out and dub it over so they don't have to pay. But it's still, but I don't know. And I just like getting on the set. A director picked me for American Housewife, no audition, to play. You know how Google goes around and takes pictures of your house? This was the 10 worst. There was the guy who was playing the butt crack guy. I was playing the passed out guy. Like I couldn't quite make it to the door. And my red bread solo cup was in my hand. And I was like drooling. And I was on the set for 4 hours, just me and the crew. And bam, in and out. And it was and that's one of my favorite shows. So it's always fun to be on a show that's one of your favorites. I can't say anything about it, but my wife and I, my ex-wife and I, we have a favorite show, and they said we can't talk about it, but we're going to be featured extras in that show. And we're like so excited. It's going to happen like not next week, but the next week after that. And we're like super excited just to be on the show and just to meet the stars. But they say we can't talk about it. I don't know why, but later on, I'll tell you what show it is.
Okay, great. That sounds fantastic. And let's move on now to your personal website. I'll just share that with the audience. Just bear with me.
All right.
And I'll bring that up. And we're here on your personal website, johnnykeatth.com. Just remember 2 N's and 2 T's, everybody.
Right.
And there's the resume about you. You can download the resume.
Right, and you can see those all the films I've done. A partial list of some of the films I've been on.
Wow, that's great. The website looks nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, and I have you can get to my podcast from there. And there's a blog, but you know how blogging is. You can't blog all the time, but I'm going to try to get a little better at it.
Yeah, I'm pretty consistent with blogging, and I've been very successful with it. I get a lot of views, and I'm starting to get followers, and it just takes. You just got to keep writing blogs. And once you've set up all the templates, you can just, use the templates to make the other blogs that you do easy.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to do more of that this year.
Yeah. Okay, so that's that. And then, of course, they have the contact where they can contact you as well.
Correct.
Beautiful. So that's that. And then the next thing I wanted to move on to, is there anything you wanted to tell us about your personal website? Or?
It's just basic information about me. It's just where you can just go to find more information.
And it's a good way to contact you if they want to get in contact with you?
Correct. There's a link right there. You can fill out that form there. And there's also, it directs you back. There's a website there's a link to my actors2020@gmail.com if people want to get on the show and pitch themselves. Because used to, I would have to go out and find people. I don't have to do that anymore. Agents, managers, publicists, they're all calling me now to put their people on the show. So I love that. So I have a consistent flow of people that are actually out there doing current things, but you know what? I can put a newbie on who's done nothing, and that will be my most successful podcast versus someone who's actually established, because the people listening to it, they're up and comers and they want to see people just like you. And it took me a long time to get into the top 10. Now I'm consistently in the top 5. I'm usually number 3. And 4 times last year, I got to the number 1 spot in performing arts. Staying there is a different story. I was there for 2 days, but I'm usually number 2 and number 3, and I'll take that. I'll take even the top 10. Like today, I was number 4, yesterday, number 3, but I'm always striving to always get back to number 1. That's why I keep producing and keep doing it so I can, and it keeps me current in acting, because if you're an actor, sometimes you don't do anything for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Having my podcast, it keeps me current and it keeps me fresh and it keeps me on top of it. So I absolutely love that.
Yeah, that sounds like awesome. Congratulations on those achievements, and that's not easy.
No, it is not easy. It takes a lot of time, because you're working with editors and you have to keep them in track. It's producing, basically. You know how it is. You're just producing. But once I figure it out, I can hone it down to where it doesn't take up a lot of my time. Just like I have a business, I've had it for 30 years, and I used to be all over the place. Now I have it all honed down. A little bit of energy, I still make the same amount of money. I make it easier and easier. It's mostly time management.
Exactly. So let's just show the audience now the podcast website.
Oh yeah, Actors 2020 podcast.
And here it is. There you go.
Yeah, so if you're an actor and you want to hear other stories, I have 125 episodes of right now. You can just go there and click anything that relates to you. If you might want to get an agent, maybe you want to listen to a talent manager, or just somebody who's just like you, or a successful person who's out there working in network television. All the podcasts are there. Some of them are only 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I try not to go over 20 minutes anymore because I used to do 30, 45-minute podcasts. 10 to 15 minutes is perfect. 20, worst case. But I love telling people stories in that amount of time. And I'm getting better and better at doing it. And it's just a passion. It's just a passion. Because like I said, I was going to stop at 100 episodes, but I want more. I want more. I want more. So.
Yeah. And talking of Actors 2020 podcast, I was on it a while back.
You were on it
twice? Yes.
Yeah.
I've been on it twice. Yeah.
But at the very beginning, you were one of the first 10 people. I think you were like number 5 or 6. And that's when I was putting 2 people on the show at once, which is a lot more producing. It's easier to have one person. So that's why I invited you back like in season 3. And then you talked about what we're doing right now, tap interviews. And you talked about the artist process because I wasn't even quite clear what it was. So it was good to hear you explaining it to me one-on-one. So I was like, that's what he does. Because you and I have other interests too, obviously. And I met you in a real estate class as well. So I'm like, that's Matt.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, just so the audience knows, we were in a class together with Kaplan Real Estate,
right?
Doing their course to help us pass the real estate brokers exam, and then Johnny passed it, and then shortly after that, I passed it as well. So we're now both real estate brokers.
That's right. That's right.
Graduating from the same class, Kaplan.
It was fun. It was fun. It was great to see you.
It was good to see you too. And when you got yours, I thought, I can't let him have a broker's license and I not have one. I have to get one now. Yeah.
Right. And then I saw you at the Screen Actors Guild Awards. You were there.
Yeah.
I should have brought my microphone. I didn't even think about it. I could have interviewed some people there too. I'm like, look at Matt. He's over there doing interviews. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. I want to see that interview. I recorded it on my little Canon camera, but it didn't have a really good microphone.
Right. That's when you got your mic. Yeah.
Yeah. So now I have a mic, but yeah. So yeah, that was great. The Screen Actors Guild Awards. Yeah. Not actually the awards, the screening of the awards, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't. They're probably not going to do it this year because you have to go in person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to be hopefully a good year this year. So what is your message to the world right now with all the things we're going through, Johnny?
Well, I don't really watch television a lot because it's so negative. So I don't really kind of pay attention to that right now. I just figure this is your life. Here's mid. I'm here. I don't have a lot of time left. I'm in that portion of my life. So I'm focusing on my goals, my dreams, and my desires. I have very little time left. My dad, he was an entrepreneur. I love him so much. He just ran out of time. He didn't have a mentor. So that's what I'm doing. I'm surrounding myself with mentors to get to where I want to be. I want to guest star. I want to co-star on television. I'm hiring people to get me there. The podcast is here to help me get there. New chapter in my life. Was married for over 20 years. She's still an amazing person. She's still my best friend. We manage an apartment building together. We have business together. We just ended the marriage, but we're best buddies. We call each other every morning. Good morning, little buddy, or good night, little buddy. And having her in my life, even though we're not married, is still a very blessing to me because she's such an amazing, amazing person. And yeah, I'm learning to live again, basically. Like when I go, like even here at my place, I'll look back, I'm like, I'm the only one here, so I made that mess. So I'm learning to clean up after myself. I'm learning to cook. She's still washing my clothes and stuff. That's the next thing. She taught me how to shop. Now she's going to teach me how to wash my clothes. So I don't know. I'm just, I'm not in the mood or ready to dine and date or anything like that. I'm going to work on myself this year. This is time for me. And because eventually I will be in another relationship and it'll be about us. So this one little year in my life, I'm just going to focus on my goals, my dreams, and desires, and just going to go from there. Like I say, very little time left, so I have to do it because I'm going to get old and I'm going to run out of time like everybody else. You have to do it now.
Congratulations. Sounds awesome. Well, thank you very much for being on the broadcast today, Johnny. I just want to thank our sponsors for Tap Interviews Live, EasywayMobile.com, EasywayLiveEvents.com, EasywayWall.com, and EasywayNetwork.com. Thank you to Mr. Eric Zuley for helping me get this show going and sponsoring us and helping us and allowing us to put it on Roku Live and all kinds of things, giving us ideas And thank you, Johnny, again for being on the show. I wish you a very healthy, happy, and prosperous 2021. I hope some of you or more of your dreams become a reality. I hope so for me and all of the viewers watching as well. I hope you have a wonderful 2021. Thank you very much, Johnny.